Daf Yomi Tractate Sanhedrin, page 98b, top of the page. We're in the middle of the story of Rabbi Yossi ben Kisma. He gave a sign to his students that the water of the cave of Pamias would be transformed into blood. And then we're up to the last line there, where it said, at the time of his death, Rabbi Yossi ben Kisma said to his students, place my coffin deep in the ground. She'ein kol dekel, v'dekel shebebavel she'ein sus shel parsiim nikshar bo ve'ein lach kol aron v'aron sheba Eretz Yisrael she'ein sus madi ochel bo teven. And there is no palm tree that is in Babylonia to which a horse of the Persians will not be tethered when the Persians and Medes go to conquer other lands. And there is no coffin buried in Eretz Yisrael from which a Median horse will not eat straw. During wars, all the coffins will be removed from the ground and used as animal troughs. I do not want my coffin to be used for that purpose. Amar Rav ein ben David ba ad shetitpashet malchut הרשע על ישראל 9 חודשים, שנאמר לכן, יתנם עד עת יולדה, ילדה, ויתר אחיו, ישובון al bnei Israel. Rav says the son of David will not come until the evil Roman kingdom will disperse throughout Eretz Yisrael for 9 months. As it is stated, therefore, will he give them up until the time when she who is in labor has given birth. Then the remnant of his brethren shall return with the children of Israel. Micah 5:2. Once a period equivalent to a term of pregnancy passes, the redemption will come. Amar Ula yete velo ich b'nei v'chen amar Rabba yete velo ich b'nei. Rav Yosef amar yete v'azke de'etev betula dichufita dichamre. Ula says, let the Messiah come, but after my death, so that I will not see him, as I fear the suffering that will precede his coming. Likewise, Rabbah says, let the Messiah come, but after my death, so that I will not see him. Rav Yosef says, let the Messiah come, and I will be privileged to sit in the shadow of his donkey's excrement. Okay? I am willing to undergo all the pain and disgrace associated with his arrival. Amar le Abaye the Rabba my Tamailema Mishum Nechevla Shemashiach V'atanya Shalu Talmidav Et Rabbi Elazar Ma Yaseh Adam Yonatzeh Nechevla Shel Mashiach Yasok Batorah Uv'gemilut Chasadim Umar Ha-Torah V'ha-gemilut Chasadim. Abaye said to Rabbah, what is the reason that you are so concerned? If we say it is due to the pains preceding and accompanying the coming of the Messiah, but isn't it Tana Braita that Rabbi Elazar's students asked Rabbi Elazar, what shall a person do to be spared from the pains preceding the coming of the Messiah? Rabbi Elazar said to them, they shall engage in Torah study and acts of kindness. Abaye continued, and as far as the master is concerned, isn't there the Torah, and aren't there the acts of kindness that you performed? Amar le Shema Yigrom Achet Kid Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi, Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi, Rami Ketiv, V'hine Anochi, Imach Ushmarticha, B'chol asher telech, Uchetiv V'yira Yaakov me'od, V'yitzer lo. Rabbi said to him, I am concerned lest sin cause me to suffer the pain, despite the Torah study and the good deeds in which I engage, in accordance with the statement of Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi. As Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi raises a contradiction, it is written that God said to Jacob, and I am with you, and will keep you wherever you go, Genesis 28:15. And it is written, and Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, Genesis 32, verse 8. If God assured Jacob that he would keep him, why was he concerned? Shehaya mityare shemer yegrom achet, keditanya, ad yavor amcha Adonai, zu bia rishona ad yavor amzu kanita, zu bia shniha. Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi explains, he was afraid lest sin on his part caused that assurance to be abrogated, as it is taught in Braita with regard to the verse, until your people pass over, Lord, until your people whom you have acquired pass over. Exodus 15:16. Until your people pass over, Lord, this is a reference to the first entry into the land, led by Joshua. Until your people whom you have acquired pass over, this is a reference to the second entry into the land, when they returned to Zion from Babylonia. Emor me'ata, ראויים היו ישראל לעשות להם נס בביאה שנייה כביאה ראשונה אלא שגר בחטא. Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi explains, say from now, based on this statement that the Jewish people were worthy for God to perform a miracle on their behalf in the second entry into the land that was like the miracles that were performed during the Exodus from Egypt and the first entry into the land. But the sin caused the second entry to take place in an unremarkable manner, with the Jewish people being subject to the dominion of the Gentiles. וכן אמר רבי יוחנן, ייטיב לו איך מיני אמר ריש לקיש, מה הייתה מה? אילמה משום נכתיב כאשר ינוס איש מפני הארי ופגעו הדוב, הוא בא הבית ושמח ידו על הקיר, ונשכו הנחש בא וערכה דוגמתו בעולמה זה, בזמן שאדם יוצא לשדה, ופגע בו סנטר דומה כמי שפגע בו ארי, נכנס לעיר, פגע בו, גבי דומה כמי שפגעו דוב, נכנס לביתו ומצא בניו ובנותיו מוטלין ברעב דומה כמי שנשכו נחש. And so too Rabbi Yochanan said, let the Messiah come, but after my death, so that I will not see him. Rish Lakish said to him, what is the reason that you are concerned? If we say it is because it is written with regard to the day of God, as when a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his arm on the wall, and a snake bit him. Amos 5:19. That is not a reason. Come, I will show you a counterpart in this world to the situation described in this verse, as even today one encounters those situations. At a time when a person goes out to the field and is accosted by a guard who demands payment, his situation is similar to that of one who was accosted by a lion. He then enters the city and is accosted by a royal tax collector. His situation is similar to that of one who is accosted by a bear. He then enters his house and finds his sons and daughters afflicted with famine. His situation is similar to that of one whom a snake bit. El mishum dichtiv, shalu na ureu, im yoled zachar, מדוע ראיתי כל גבר ידיו על חלציו שהיולדה ונהפכו כל פנים לירקון. Rabbi Yochanan said to him, rather, the reason I am concerned is that it is written with regard to the day of God, ask now and see whether a man gives birth. Why then do I see every man with his hand on his loins as a woman in labor, and all faces turn green? Jeremiah 30, verse 6. Mai ra'iti, kol gever, amar Rav bar Yitzchak, amar Rav, mi shekol gevura shelo, umai v'nehapchu kol panim yirakon. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, pamai l'shem mala, pamai l'shem mata. Bisha shemar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, halalu ma'aseh yadai, v'halalu ma'aseh yadai, v'ech e'aber elu v'pnei elu. The Gemara clarifies, what is the meaning of the phrase, I see kol gever? Rav bar Yitzchak says that Rav says it is a reference to he whom all his strength is his. It is as though even God will suffer like a woman in labor to the troubles of the Jewish people. And what is the meaning of the phrase, and all faces turn green? Rabbi Yochanan says the reference is to the heavenly entourage above, meaning the angels, and the earthly entourage below, meaning the Jewish people, who will all suffer at the time when the Holy One, blessed be He, says, these, the Jewish people, are my handiwork, and those, the Gentiles, are my handiwork. How shall I destroy those on account of these? It appears that the Holy One, blessed be He, does not distinguish between the Jewish people and the Gentiles. That is why Rabbi Yochanan was concerned with regard to the coming of the Messiah. Amar Papa, Hainu Amri Inchi, Rahiz Benafal Torah, Be'azil, Yishadeh Le Susya Be'uraya. Rav Papa says that this is in accordance with the adage that people say, an ox runs and falls, and its owner goes and casts a horse in its place, although the horse is an inferior animal relative to the ox. When there is no ox available, a horse must suffice. So too, after the Jewish people sin, it is as though the Holy One, blessed be He, transfers their prominence to the Gentiles. Amarav Gida Amarav Atidin Yisrael Dachli Shnei Mashiach Amarav Yosef Pshita Ve'elaman Achil Lehu Chilak Ubilak Achli Lehu Lapoki Midrav Rabbi Hillel De Amar Im Mashiach L'Yisrael Shekvar Achlu B'Mechizkiah. Rav Gidel says that Rav says the Jewish people are destined to eat from the bounty of, meaning enjoy, the years of the Messiah. Rav Yosef says, isn't this obvious? And rather, who else will eat from them? Will Hilak and Bilak, two shiftless characters, eat from them? The Gemara explains Rav Gidel's statement serves to exclude the statement of Rabbi Hillel, who says there is no Messiah coming for the Jewish people, as they already ate from him, as all the prophecies relating to the Messiah were already fulfilled during the days of Hezekiah. Amarav lo ibri alma ela le David u Shmuel amar le Moshe v'Rabbi Yochanan amar le Mashiach. Rav says the world was created only for the sake of David, by virtue of his merit, and Shmuel says it was created by virtue of the merit of Moses, and Rabbi Yochanan says it was created by virtue of the merit of the Messiah. Ma Shemo Debei Rabbi Shela Amri Shilo Shemo Shene'emar Ad Ki Yavo Shilo Debei Rabbi Yanai Amri Yinon Shemo Shene'emar Yihi Shemo Leolam. לפני שמש ינון שמו. דבי רבי חנינא אמר, חנינא שמו שנאמר, אשר לא אתן לכם חנינא. ויש אומרים מנחם בן חזקיה שמו, שנאמר כי רחק ממני מנחם, משיב נפשי. ורבן אמרי, חיורא דבי רבי שמו, שנאמר אכן חיינו רסה, ומחובנו סבלם. ואנחנו חשבנו נגוע מוכה אלוהים ומנה. Apropos to the Messiah, the Gemara asks, what is his name? The school of Rabbi Shila says Shiloh is his name, as it is stated, until when Shiloh shall come, Genesis 49:10. The school of Rabbi Yanai says Yinon is his name, as it is stated, may his name endure forever, may his name continue, Yinon, as long as the sun, and may men bless themselves by him. Psalm 72 verse 17. The school of Rabbi Chanina says Chanina is his name, as it is stated, for I will show you no favor, Chanina, Jeremiah 16:13. And some say that Menachem ben Chizkiah is his name, as it is stated, because the Comforter that should relieve my soul is far from me, Lamentations 1:16. And the rabbis say, the leaper of the house of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi is his name, of Rebbe. The leaper of the house of Rebbe is his name, as it is stated. Indeed, our illnesses he did bear, and our pains he endured, yet we did not esteem him injured, stricken by God, and afflicted, Isaiah 53:4. Amar Rabbi Nachman, Ibn Chaya ukegon ana, shene'emar v'haya adiro, mimenu u'shlo mikirbo. Yatsa Amarav, Ibn Chaya hu kegon Rabbeinu HaKadosh, Ibn Mataya hu kegon Daniel ish Chamudot. Rav Nachman says, if the Messiah is among the living in his generation, he is a person such as me, who already has dominion over the Jewish people, as is stated, and their prince shall be of themselves, and their governor shall proceed from their midst, Jeremiah 30:21, indicating that the Redeemer is already in power. Rav says, if the Messiah is among the living in this generation, he is a person such as our saintly Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, who is renowned for his sanctity, piety, and Torah knowledge. If the Messiah is among the dead, he is a person such as Daniel, the beloved man. Amar Rav Yehuda Amarav, Ati HaKadosh Baruch Hu lehamid lahem David acher, shene'emar v'yavdu et Adonai Elohem, v'et David Malkam, asher akim lahem, Hakim lo ne'emar ela akim, Amar le Rav Papa le'abaya, v'acheti v'David avdi, nasi lahem le'olam, kigon Kesar u'palgi Kesar. Rav Yehuda says, the Rav says, the Holy One, blessed be He, is destined to establish another David for the Jewish people as the Messiah, as it is stated, and they shall serve the Lord their God and David their king, whom I will establish for them, Jeremiah 30 verse 9. It is not stated I establish, but I will establish, indicating that the name of the future king will be David. Rav Papa said to Abaya, but isn't it written, and my servant David shall be their prince forever, Ezekiel 37:25, indicating that King David himself will rule over the Jewish people. Abaya said, they will rule in tandem, like an emperor and a viceroy. The Messiah will be king, and David will be second in command. Darash Rav Simlai, my dichtiv, hoi המתאבים את יום אדוני, למה זה לכם יום אדוני? הוא חושך ולא אור, משל לתרנגול והטלף שהוי מצפין לאור. אמר לתרנגול לטלף, אני מצפה לאורה she'ora sheli hi, ve'ata lama lecha ora. Rabbi Simlai taught, what is the meaning of that which is written? Woe unto you who desire the day of the Lord. Why would you have this day of the Lord? It is darkness, and not light. Amos 5:18 is comparable to a rooster and a bat, who are looking forward to the light of day. The rooster said to the bat, I look forward to the light, as light is an indication of my time to be active. But as for you, why do you need the light? Because bats are blind. Nighttime for you is like daytime for me. We'll continue it the next time, God willing.